In this section, we're going to begin adding fractions, which is actually quite easy to do when you have like fractions, meaning they have a common denominator. Let's say we want to add 1/9 plus 4/9. They each have the same denominator, and so when you add these together, the common denominator of 9 is going to remain. And then all you're going to do is add across in the numerators. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Now if we think about what's happening here, let's pretend we had a block that had 9 squares in it, and the first one had only 1 shaded in, and the other one had 4 squares shaded in. When you add these together, that's sort of like taking this one block that's filled in and filling it into this next block here, and we now have 5/9 of this figure shaded in. In order to add fractions, you must have a common denominator. And even though you may be a little scared of algebra, let me show you something here. Let's say we have a over b plus c over b. We don't know what b represents. It's a number, but we don't know what that is. But we do know we have a common denominator, which is b. So we're just going to keep that b going across here, and we can add a and c together to have a plus c over b. Okay, so it's really not that hard. It's exactly what we're doing up here with these numbers. Now let's go one step further. Let's add together 5/8 plus 7/8. We do have a common denominator of 8, which we will keep over here for the sum. Remember that the sum is the answer to an addition problem, and we're going to add the values in the numerators together to get 12. Now this time, unlike the last problem, we can reduce our answer. We always want to reduce our answers even if the directions do not tell us to do so. And we can do that by dividing out a common factor. You might first divide each by 2, or if you notice that 4 goes into each 12 and 8 evenly, we can divide each by 4 here and get 3 over 2. Now I know that that is an improper fraction, but in this class that's perfectly fine to have as an answer. If you were to convert that to the mixed number 1 1/2, that is not simplifying the fraction or reducing the fraction. That is actually changing its form. And in this class we're perfectly happy with an improper fraction as a solution. Pretty much the exception to that rule would be if you start with mixed numbers, we sort of end with mixed numbers. Or if we have a word problem, we tend to like to have this written as 1 1/2 so that we can interpret that in a more easy way. Now subtraction works the same way. If I have 25/10 minus 7/10, again I need to have a common denominator in order to be able to subtract. Now I notice that 25 and 10 both are multiples of 5, and I could reduce this original fraction. But if I reduce that to 5 over 2, I would no longer have a common denominator to add with. So we'd have to get it back to that 10 as a denominator anyway. So this is how we're going to start this problem. 25 minus 7 is equal to 18. And again, we can reduce this problem because 18 and 10 are both even. Both the numerator and the denominator can be divided by 2, and we will have 9/5 as our answer here. And again, we could convert that to the mixed number 1 4/5 by dividing, but we're going to leave this as an improper fraction. For this next problem, I've drawn a triangle and labeled the sides, and we would like to find the perimeter of this triangle. Remember that perimeter is an addition word. It tells us we're going to add the lengths of the sides together. And I've got a common denominator here of 19. So basically, we've got 5/19 plus 9/19 plus 12/19, each of them with the unit meters that we're adding together. This will give us a common denominator of 19, and we're going to add from left to right. 5 plus 9 is 14, plus 12 is 26, and so this will be 26/19 of a meter. This does seem a little bit strange, so if you would want to convert that to a mixed number, you would divide. 26 divided by 19 goes in one time, and there are 7 left over out of the 19, and so 1 7/19 meters could be another way of writing this answer. This is not simplifying the fraction. The simplified fraction is 26 over 19. This is actually changing the answer to mixed number form.